Lesson 5.9, we're going to be talking about powers. Powers of numbers. And specifically, how to use the exponent and apply it to a math term that's inside parentheses, or one with a negative inside parentheses. Okay? So, we've talked about these before. How do you deal with a power of a power? What do you do if you have x squared to the third power with the exponents? What do you do? Do you add them or do you multiply them? Well, look at the answer. Would you add them or multiply them? Luke? If 4x squared to the third power equals 64x to the sixth power, what do we do with the exponents to get the answer? Do you add 3 plus 2? Or do you multiply 3 times 2? You do 3 times 2. Okay? You multiply the exponents when it's a power of a power. So x squared to the third power is x to the sixth power. Okay? Now, how did we get 64 out of that? Gracie? Where did that come from?
Multiply the 4 together.
Multiply the 4 together. How many?
3.
3, because you apply the third power to the 4. Okay? Now, remember, when it's in parentheses, the negative sign stays with the number. Okay? So, negative 5 squared, or negative 5x squared, is positive 25x to the second power. Because negative 5 times negative 5 is positive 25. Okay? But what if the negative sign is outside the parentheses?
Negative.
Then the whole thing is negative, right? Then this is a negative. Then this is negative 5x times 5x. Okay? What do you do if it is a negative fraction or a positive fraction? In that case, you apply the exponent to both numbers, to the numerator and the denominator. So this is negative 4/5 times negative 4/5. Again, a negative times a negative is a positive. 4 squared is 16, and 5 squared is 25. Okay? Look at this last one. Stop talking and pay attention. What if you have 4 over n to the third power? Jordan.
What?
4 over n to the third power.
Do 4 over n times 3.
Not times 3. You do 4 to the third, which is 64. And n in the denominator to the third power is, yep. So either you write it as 64 over n to the third, or because the n is in the denominator. So 3 goes with the n in the denominator. Because, remember when we learned about moving it to the other side of the line? So if we move n up to the top of the line and put it next to the 64,
Yes.
then the exponent becomes its opposite. So n to the third becomes n to the negative third if you move it to the opposite side of the line. Okay? Any questions on that? Make sure you copy this one down also. So your assignment is the worksheet.
The whole thing?
Yep, 1 through 20 on this page. 1 through 20. Just this side.
There's both sides.
Yep, and do the reteaching 5, 9, 1 through 20. Okay? Correct. You don't have to do 5 bases. What?
Did you go over one that's not a fraction?
Sure, I'll do one more that's not a fraction. So, for example, number 1. Number 1. So 2 times 5 to the 4th power. Okay? Now, in this case, you could do this 2 different ways. You could apply the 4 to 2 first. So this would be 2 to the 4th power. And then 5 to the 4th power. Or it might be easier to, in this case, combine these first, because 2 times 5 is 10. And then 10 to the 4th power is 10,000, right? Because anytime you have a power of 10, that tells you how many zeros there are. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. Okay? How about number 2? Negative 3 times 2 to the 3rd power. So again, you probably want to make that negative 6 to the 3rd power. And then find the answer to that. Number 4. You want to do number 4?
Yes.
Okay, one more. Number 4. A squared times b to the 5th power. Now, what's the power of b then? Since there's no number there, we know that it's what?
1.
It's 1. So then 5 times 2 to get the a exponent, a to the 10th. And 5 times 1 gives you the b exponent.
Wait.
To the 5th.
So it's
AJ?
you're not doing 2 to the 5th power, you're just. Okay, that makes more sense now, thank you.
Yep, you're doing, it's a power of a power, and so you multiply the exponents.
Okay, I did like 2 to the 5th anyway, and then I got like 32.
All right, so those are some examples for you. Any more questions? All right, do just worksheet 5-9.